Live from the BDN Studios, it's Bang and Dang.
That's awesome.
If you don't like that, then
You ain't black.
Welcome back, Outlaws Gunslingers. We are your hosts, Bang and Dang here, and we told you last week we'd have the fellow Bailey-Underhill Gang member, Wilbur Underhill, for you this week. Last week was Harvey Bailey, obviously. And as we noted, those two spent about a month after they got out of prison robbing some stuff together, And this is Wilbur Underhill Jr.'s little more entertaining, I think, than Harvey Bailey's was, as Harvey Bailey wasn't I don't think he even killed anybody, as far as I remember.
just the one guy.
Yeah, and then nothing, just rob banks, that's it.
He had to kill that guy, though.
Kind of like uneventful there,
Right.
But I think this one would be a little bit more.
That guy was just his escape partner, right?
I don't even know if that was Harvey that did that. Did he?
They had to hit him in the back or shot him in the back. Frank Nash,
I
right?
think it was, yeah.
All right.
So yeah, Bailey just robbed banks. He did rob his claim to fame now. Not when he was alive. Now he ended up robbing more money than John Dillinger ever did. Probably any of those gangsters. Over $1 million throughout his career.
The past three people that we did are considered the most successful bank robbers. So which one is it?
One of the. Well, plus all those guys have worked together, so it wouldn't.
But these last guys are the smartest ones so far until they get stupid. It's like so smart, but once they do that first thing bad, it just done from there.
It's pretty much how any crime goes.
Yeah, but if you're actually smart, you can stop it with that one mistake instead of just leading on down a road of mistakes to where you finally end up at your destination, death.
Well, not for old Harvey.
Yeah, Harvey made it out, didn't he?
Age like
70-something, wasn't it?
92 he was, I think.
Yeah, he was born in
Yeah, he died in
81.
79.
79. He was born
in
97 or
he was born in 87, so yeah.
87.
So he was 90-something years, 92 years old, yeah.
It's awesome.
So like we discussed, he lived 3 different lives.
Right?
His robbing life, his prison life, and then 20 years after he got out of prison.
He lived his life in 30-year increments.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, enough of Harvey Bailey. There's an episode last week that you guys can go listen to on that. This one's about Wilbur Underhill Jr., who's often called Mad Dog or the Tri-State Terror.
Mad Dog?
American criminal, burglar, bank robber, and all-around outlaw badass. He's one of the most wanted bandits in Oklahoma during the 20s and the 30s. So the Oklahoma area, pretty sure that's where Babyface Nelson was from.
Right? Around that area?
Mm-hmm.
Wilbur Jr. was born in Joplin, Missouri, March 16th, 1901. One of 7 children.
7 of them.
His 3 older brothers, Earl, George, and Ernest.
Ernest.
Nice. Look at all those beautiful names.
I wonder if he went to camp.
Right.
Right.
Or jail. Did he save Christmas? What about the Trolls? What was that one? Ernest and the Trolls?
Maybe.
Anyway, his 3 brothers all became career criminals,
Mm-hmm.
though none gained the notoriety of their younger bro.
Oh, Wilby.
While his 3 sisters led law-abiding lives.
Of course, they always do, man.
Underhill was 12. His brother, George, killed a local peanut vendor and was sentenced to life imprisoned.
Hey, man, I said I wanted my peanuts shelled.
Right, and how much money do you think he really got if he was kind of trying to kill him for money?
Who says he was trying to kill him for money? Maybe he
Maybe
was trying to rob him for the peanuts.
Or a bad batch of peanuts. They're just disgusting.
Like, ew.
Some bad peanuts.
Ew.
Boom.
Ew. Underhill began to show a wild streak soon afterwards,
Ooh, a wild
though his mother claimed it was the result of a childhood accident that didn't leave him quite right. That boy was never quite right after that childhood accident.
He bumped his head.
He never been quite right. He also changed the spelling of his given name from Wilbur with an E to Wilbur with a U, believing it sounded more manly. So it was Wilbur, now it's Wilbur?
Yeah. That's right.
That makes any sense. Wilbur, and it's Wilbur, right? You get it? You see the subtle difference there?
I get it.
Wilbur,
get it.
Wilbur, and Wilbur.
I wonder if that's Bill Burr's uncle.
Bill Wilbur. No, his last name's not Wilbur, though.
I know.
It's Underhill. Bill Wilbur, though. That's a good name.
And then William Wilbur. Yeah.
William Wilbur.
Underhill committed his first criminal offense by stealing silverware. Well, it was actual silver, so He was at a neighbor's home, and he stole them sons of beaches. He's like, I'm taking these home. I'm sick of using that rusty old iron. We shouldn't even be eating with iron.
Why?
I don't know.
It's good. You cook in cast iron, don't you?
Yeah, I'm saying.
It's good to...
He think he's better than being poor folk. He wants to eat with silver.
He wants a silver spoon in his mouth.
Right. I'm sick of this rusty old iron spoon in my mouth. Leaves a nasty aftertaste. Could be tin.
Yeah, he just made one out of a tin can. That's what he's been eating with.
Right.
Jagged edges.
Ooh, cut my mouth.
It's like those popsicles when you were a kid.
Yes.
Those bitches will cut the sides of your mouth like
I'm like
crazy.
that with spoons you eat with. If it's
big wide ones, yeah.
If it gets that little part at the top of your lips, I ain't using that. I'll dig through the drawer to find the spoon that I like.
What do you mean, top of your
Sometimes the spoon has got a little bit more of a gully in it, and like the size of it, if you it'll get the top of your lips.
Right. You ever had the spoons with like the weird taste?
Yeah.
Like the tingsy taste?
I won't use them.
No, obviously not.
I basically use the same. Anyhow. He stole silverware from a neighbor's home.
He did.
When questioned by the police, he attempted to convince them that a stranger had given it to him. He's like, nah, man, some dude gave it to me.
I took them from strangers.
1918, he was convicted of burglary and spent 4 years in prison.
A
year after his release, Wilbur became locally known as the Lover's Lane Bandit.
Oh, so he's going around the old Lover's Lane pits robbing people, huh?
Nice. When his identity became known after being caught by the police decoy, he was sent to the Missouri State Penitentiary for 5 years. So
nice. They had a little decoy up on the old Lover's Lane, and
this guy
got his ass.
is just like a petty thief just getting caught.
At this point, yeah, and he's not very smart about it. He's there for 5 years. He was released on parole in late 1926.
So he just did 9 years because he did 4 years prior.
No.
Yeah.
No.
1918, he said 4 years in prison.
Oh, a year after his release, yeah.
And then he went back for another 5. So he did 9 years.
A year later, from 1919 to 1925, he was in prison. So, yeah, another 9 years so far of his...
Wow.
Year was he born?
Don't say
1901.
1901.
So it's 1926.
And he spent 9 years in prison already.
Half of his life in prison
25
already.
years.
25 years old. Crazy.
Well, almost.
Well, right. After he was released on parole in late
1920. Two-thirds is more than half.
Right. He was born in 1901. He was in there for 9 years. He's only 25, so...
3/8 of his life.
Right. Well, he's released on parole in late 1926, and on Christmas Day, he and Ike Skeet Akins robbed a drugstore.
I think we heard that name before.
Skeet Ulrich. Sydney, I'm not the killer. Him and Akins robbed a drugstore in Okmulgee, Oklahoma. In the course of the robbery, 19-year-old customer George Fee was killed. He paid the ultimate fee that day.
Sure did.
They were eventually arrested on January 7, 1927, and charged with moida.
Moida, what's the charge? It's moida!
As well as armed robbery.
And they're like, yeah.
We gotta get him on that murder charge.
We got the murder charge. Underhill and Akins were still awaiting trial when they decided to escape from the Okmulgee jailhouse, January 30th, with fellow inmates Red Gann, first time hearing this name, and Duff Kennedy.
First time hearing that name.
Yes.
Well, look at these names back in the day. Like, who names their kids this nowadays?
And again, smuggled hacksaws. This must have been a thing back then.
Yeah, man.
Smuggling handsaws.
Hacksaws.
All I need is get one bar, and I can spit through the other two. While Underhill successfully eluded authorities, his partner was captured at Lamar, Missouri on 9th of February. 3 days later, while being brought back to Okmulgee, Atkins attempted another escape, and this time the sheriff was like, nope.
I have to put a bullet in you there, Skeet.
Sheriff John Russell moited. Well, I guess he apprehended the prisoner.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think of a smart pun to go with that, but it didn't work. Well, a day after Akins' death, Underhill robbed a movie theater for $52 in Pitcher, Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's $52. A lot of money back then.
Yes. Confronted by Constable George Fuller, he grabbed Fuller's pistol and killed a deputized civilian, Earl O'Neill.
No
relation to Ed. Before escaping. Underhill was finally caught in Panama on March 20th and taken to Okmulgee, where he was convicted of the fee murder and sentenced to life.
Wow.
On June 3rd, 1927.
Sentenced to life.
I mean, he killed a deputized civilian.
At the age of 26.
Right. 26 years old and spending the rest of his 10 years remaining in life. So.
Right. Wilbur made several attempts to escape from the Oklahoma State Penitentiary and he finally succeeded.
That's the thing. That's the common theme with our last like 3 people, dude. They're like master escape artists for some reason. Or, well, not even last 3. Everybody, Babyface, Dillinger, all those guys escaped from prison more than once.
Right. He did this on the 14th of July in the year of 1931. 12 days later, Underhill purchased a car in Cherryville, Kansas, under the name of, you guessed it, Ralph Caraway. And then, guess what he did there, guys? He robbed a local theater. He loved these theaters.
Yeah.
But this time he got
a little bit more.
This time he got $300.
Nice. That must have been on Saturday or something.
Right.
Saturday. Right.
Cherryville must be known to have good performances.
Must have been a premiere.
Right. The following month, he recruited his young nephew.
Come here, young nephew.
Frank Underhill.
Oh, Frankie.
Frank Underhill joined him, and they went on a new crime spree.
They went on a new and improved crime spree. He's like, Frankie, my boy.
This is new and improved.
No more robbing theaters. However, on August 12th, we will rob a Wichita gas station. But this time, Frankie will only get $14.68.
You think you'd get more than that. Unless it was just a gas station.
A local gas station only get $14. Wow.
Oh.
Well, while leaving that scene of the robbery, Underhill crashed into another car and had to have it towed to a nearby garage and checked into a hotel. This dude's just getting his car towed. No cops came or anything.
The funny part is the garage is probably connected to the gas station that he robbed. He'd be like, hey, dude. The car's about a quarter mile down the road.
Can you go pick that up and pick it up for me?
And bring it on back.
He's like, sure, that'll be $14.68.
Yeah, for real? That's highway robbery, man.
What a coincidence. That's exactly what I have on me.
He's like, I know. I gave it to you no more than 25 minutes ago.
No more than 2 minutes ago.
Well, it took him a while.
I literally saw you pull out of my driveway. And
it took him a while to walk from the crash site.
No, that's hilarious. The next day, patrolman Merle Culver arrived at the hotel. So it took a whole day for a patrolman to arrive there.
So we got a patrol guy there, huh? Is he there for this guy, or is he just there to check things out?
He arrived at the hotel. I'm assuming that he was called there.
Right. Well, this is why he arrived. He had been assigned to check Wichita hotels for suspicious guests and went to their room to request them. Wow.
Did not request them at all.
Oh.
I request you. You request me to do what? I just request.
Well, I request you to get the hell on my face.
Just know that I got a request out for you. I'll be back when I think of something.
Anyhow. Anywho, he's been signed to go to Wichita hotels for suspicious guests, and he went to their rooms to question them. When he knocked on the door, Wilbur Underhill shot him 3 times.
He's like, well, here's my request.
I request you to take this lead in your head.
He's like, sir, I request you to shoot me 3 times.
In my head until I'm dead.
And kill me instantly, please.
Please. And that's what he did. Shot him 3 times in the head, killed him
instantly.
So wait,
shouldn't it just be like 1 time in the head and kill him instantly? Because instantly got killed from the 1 bullet. The 2 other ones didn't mean jack.
For no reason. So that made him a psychopath.
Right.
So who was his name? Patrolman Merle Culver. Just doing some of his assigned duties.
What he's on duty to do.
Noticed that he stopped at one of the hotels and
he wasn't even necessarily there for Underhill.
No, he's just going to act a clerk at the motel. Ask the clerk, hey, man, you got any suspicious people? Well, yeah, we need to get these guys there earlier.
Well, this guy did crash into some other people. His car's getting fixed over there.
Right.
Well, that sounds suspicious.
Funniest thing, these guys came in and robbed me for $14.68.
Crashed the damn car.
10 minutes later, they come back, want me to go pick up the damn car. So I did.
Oh, man. Oh, jeez. Fleeing on foot, Underhill became involved in a run-in gunfight with the police. Jeez. A 2-year-old boy was killed in the crossfire when police fired at Underhill. Oh, the Popos killed a 2-year-old boy. That's not good.
No.
He was eventually stopped by a lucky shot to the neck.
Oh, man.
Wilbur Underhill was convicted of murder, earning him another life sentence, and was imprisoned in Lansing State Prison on September 4th, 1931.
Wow.
Old Frankie Underhill was not charged and apparently scared straight from experiences, and he never committed another criminal offense for the rest of his natural-born life.
Well, you know what? Good for Frank.
Right. He just seen a 2-year-old get killed. Well, actually, he just seen the constable get shot 3 times in the head.
My.
Then a 2-year-old boy gets killed, and then Underhill gets shot in the neck. He's like, that ain't for me, Unc.
He's like, this is crazy, guy.
He's like, Uncle, I don't know what you did
Right.
to drag me into this, but I'm out.
Mm-mm.
You leave me out of this. There's a reason why Pa don't talk to you no more.
Right. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
One bit.
Early 1930s. Underhill had become one of the most notorious bandits in Oklahoma. While an inmate in Lansing, he participated in a mass escape with 10 other inmates using pistols smuggled in by a guard.
Which you guys have heard this in the last episode
We
because
did.
you know who one of these fellow escapees are.
Yes. And they're like, we're leaving this prison and we're going to Cookson
We're
Hills.
going to Cookson Hills.
Among those included in this jailbreak included the following: Harvey Bailey, Jim Clark,
Jimmy Clark.
Frank Sawyer, Ed Davis,
Eddie.
Robert Big Bob Brady.
Oh, shit. RBBBB. It's actually Big Bob Brady.
Bob Big Bob.
Big Bob.
Bob Big Bob, Bob Big Bob. Bob Big Bob, Bob Big Bob.
Big Bob Brady.
That's Harvey Bailey.
You got Jim Clark, Frank Sawyer, Ed Davis, and Cookson Hills.
Don't forget Wilbur Underhill. I'm sorry.
Big Bob Brady.
Bob Big Bob, Bob Big Bob, Bob Big Bob, Bob Big Bob.
Big Bob Brady. Harvey Bailey. They got a Jim Clark, Frank Sawyer, Ed Davis, and don't forget Underhill.
Underhill. Wilbur, that is. With the U.
Here's a story about a man named Big Bob.
Here's a story about a man named Bob Big Bob. Oh, shit. All right. Here we are. Among these included Harvey Bailey, Jim Clark, Frank Sawyer, Ed Davis, and Robert Big Bob Brady. Okay. Many of these men later became members of the gang headed by himself and Harvey Bailey,
Yes, sir.
as we told you last week, as I set off on a crime spree lasting a little over 6 months.
Oh, 6 months, obviously.
So this
That's
is
a
actually,
month. Yeah.
This is a long crime spree.
A long little crime spree. Well, we're going to read a little bit more about it. There's a little bit more in here than there was in Harvey's episode.
Well, they split off, didn't they, or something?
After 6 months, yes. Almost 2 weeks after their escape on June 16th, he and Bailey led a robbery with several other men and robbed a bank in Black Rock, Arkansas. The next day, Underhill and Bailey were among several fugitives wrongly named as the participants in the Kansas City Massacre.
Wrongly.
Which you know is the failed attempt to free Frank Nash from custody. And old Nashy died and 4 lawmen there, so they were wrongly accused of that.
Right. So it's crazy. So here we are, tying stories up from past month. Full circle of life, baby. The gang continued its activities and robbed $11,000 from a bank in Clinton, Oklahoma.
Look at Underhill don't even know what to do with himself right now because he's like, dude, I was robbing gas stations for $14 before
Right.
any of this bank robbing stuff came about.
11 grand, baby.
I think up until now, his biggest take that we seen was $300 from the movie theater.
$300 that we've seen so far. Right. 2 days later, Underhill apparently acted alone in a bank robbery in Canton, Kansas, but rejoined the gang by the time the Bailey-Underhill Gang struck a bank in Kingfisher, Oklahoma.
Which we know
9th of August, 1933.
Which we know that that was Harvey's last bank robbery.
Kingfisher.
Which we're going to see here, because 3 days after the Kingfisher robbery, Bailey was visiting Robert Shannon, who's the father-in-law of old Machine Gun
There
Kelly.
we go. Like I said, that circle.
At his Texas ranch, his safe house, when police and federal agents raided the property, Bailey had been passed ransom money from Kelly's kidnapping of oil tycoon Charles Urschel and wrongly convicted in the plot 2 months later. You want to go check out the Harvey Bailey episode to see what happened after that.
Right. Well, we know Bailey. He's serving a life sentence.
He is, but Willie.
Underhill is like, you know what? I'm taking charge of this gang.
It might have been Bailey Underhill Gang, but now it's just the Underhill Gang, damn it.
Right. We can keep Bailey on there if you want.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
It's like the Bob and Tom show. There's no
Right.
Bob no more. It's just
Right.
Tom.
Right. We'll keep it. Anyway, Underhill took charge of the gang. October 6th, he did. He and several unidentified men robbed $3,000 from a bank in Baxter Springs.
Oh, look at those guys. Several unidentified.
Fantastic.
Should it be just Underhill and the unidentified?
The under-identifieds. Anyway, they did this in Baxter Springs, Kansas. These were followed by bank raids in Galena, Kansas, or Galena, however you want to say it, Galena. Never been there, so or even heard this town.
Right.
And Stuttgart, Arkansas. Stuttgart, Arkansas. November 9th. He and Ford Bradshaw raided in Okmulgee. Dang, he went back to Okmulgee?
He went back to Okmulgee. Oh, hey, down in Okmulgee. I'll rob a bank once, not twice. You know me.
Right. With a few other men, they escaped away with 13 grand.
I hate to be the unidentified men and the few other men in this guy's life because they don't get no recognition.
Few other men and unidentified.
I'll tell you, I get no respect. That was a terrible Dangerfield, but what are you going to do, right? Underhill was now attracting national media attention. Look, Underhill.
Took him that long?
It took him that long. He had now been called Mad Dog or the Tri-State Terror by several newspapers, one even dubbing him the Southwest Executioner. He should have went around wearing an executioner's hood after that.
Right.
Call me Wilbur the Executioner. Executioner Wilbur. While authorities made efforts to go after them almost immediately following the Okmulgee heist. At the same time, he's being called this in the papers and stuff. Special task force was formed and included armored cars.
Hey.
And searching through Cookson Hills looking for him. Look at, is this the first deployment of armored cars for Dillinger? Babyface and the Machine Gun didn't get no armored cars as far as I remember. I didn't hear about that.
I've never seen that armored cars in any of the articles, unless it was left behind.
Right.
Well, 18th November.
Don't be a Kirk.
Right. 18th November, while the task force was still in Cookson Hills, Wilbur presented himself at the courthouse in nearby Colgate, applied for a mayor's license under his own name.
What?
See, that's where the stupidity comes in. Why? Anyway, his fiancée, Hazel Jarrett Hudson,
she was like, baby, I ain't marrying you unless you do it under your real name.
Right. I want to be.
He's like, you're not getting.
She's like, I want to be an Underhill.
You're not getting none of this until we get married. So,
mm-hmm.
He's like, damn it.
You did it.
This is going to put me in prison for life.
For life.
As long as I get that one piece of pie before I leave, I guess it's worth it.
Right. His fiancée, Hazel Jarrett Hudson, was a sister of
Jarrett.
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 J-A-R-R-E-T.
Right.
Jarrett.
J-E-F-F. J-A-R-R-E.
Is that what he said? J-E-F-F-J-A-R-R-E-T.
It's not a double E, though.
Oh, no. Jarrett.
Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett.
His name is J-E-E-F-F. It's Jeef Jarrett.
Jeef Jarrett. Jeef Jarrett.
Woo.
Woo. Like it. Anyway, his fiancée Hazel.
This episode's full of
garbage,
piss and vinegar.
Right. And we know her name. Hazel Jarrett Hudson was a sister of the outlaw Jarrett brothers.
Oh shit, the Jarrett brothers.
The Jarrett brothers.
That's what those guys. Those guys aren't even important. You can't even click on them.
Oh, what kind of name can't you click on?
Right.
The Jarrett brothers were worthless. As part of the wedding present for Hazel, Wilbur and several others. There are these several others. Others. Now there's
unidentified. A few.
And
several others, dude. These guys.
And they were probably all the same people.
They probably were. These guys get no respect. And they're part of a gang, too, and, like, nobody knows the name of these guys' gang. Right. Like, jeez.
It's Wilbur and several others.
Maybe that's...
Oh, wait, or is that a few?
I don't know what happens to Underhill in this, if he gets killed or goes to prison. Maybe if he does go to prison, that's one of his demands. Whenever you mention my bank robbery, you should just say me and several others or unidentified.
Or anything like that.
That's the only way I'm giving up.
Or anything like that. Anything that is just don't name anybody. How can you do it?
Good stuff.
Anyway, Underhill and several others, they robbed a bank in Frankfort, Kentucky.
At
least they're sticking around town. Or, I mean, around.
Oh, yeah, man. It's all this era is the Midwest. You don't hear nothing about Cali or nothing like that.
Right.
Meanwhile, disgraced FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover is reportedly frustrated with the lack of progress from Oklahoma authorities. He assigns Agent H.R. Colvin to the Underhill case. Now the FBI is officially tracking down old Wilbur. Colvin soon discovered that Underhill had given his wife's address in Oklahoma City to the minister who married them in order to receive their marriage certificate. And there is the inevitable screw-up and the downfall of every one of these gangsters that we've read about from the Wild West up until now.
Right.
There's always one thing like this.
Right.
idiots.
And plus, we know when the FBI gets involved, it's probably going to be
Somebody's getting shot.
Fishy, yeah. It's going to be a little fishy situation here.
Yeah, somebody's getting shot for real, and then they're going to cover it up. And yeah, anytime the initials JEH are involved.
Hoover.
Or FBI.
Right. Federal agents staked out the home of Wilbur, spotted the Underhills a week later.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his wife.
Her parents' address.
Oh, okay. Agents at the scene called for reinforcements, but by the time they arrived, the newlyweds had left to celebrate their honeymoon. A few days later, police raided a farm near Kanawha, where they knew Underhill was staying.
Oh, they knew it then, huh?
However, Underhill had passed them earlier on the highway when he was able to escape before the police realized they made a mistake.
It's like a bunch of Barney Fifes.
Right.
On every one of these FBI guys, dude.
Or
Deputy Deweys or something.
Or Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah. Sheriff.
What's his name?
B.
What was the deputy's name?
That was his daddy.
Big Hoss was the sheriff, wasn't it?
Yeah. Buford T. Coltrane or something like that, right? Coltrane?
Something, I forget what it was. Great movie, though.
Right. That's Underhill and his gang continued to remain active in the area while they got the FBI on them. Well, Wilbur, Jack Lloyd, and Ralph Rowe attempted to burglarize a bank in Hurrah, Oklahoma on December 11, 1933, and then they robbed another bank in Colgate 2 days later.
Jeez, these guys.
So they attempted to burglarize a bank. Did they succeed?
Right. Maybe they didn't do that one. And so they're like, we'll do this one in Colgate.
We're going to go Colgate 2 days later.
These guys are just nonstop. This is like Wild West stuff here.
It is, dude.
Ridiculous. These guys should have been doing this stuff in the 80s, 70s of the 1800s.
Right, dude. Like,
yeah.
How many bank robberies like this? The 30s and the Wild West. That's like the bank robbery time. No other. I mean, sure, people have tried, but not in the. You didn't have multiple people running from state to state robbing banks all the time.
Like from 1926 to like 35, it's just bank robberies, just nuts.
All day.
And then 60s all the way up to
really 1860s to 1930s. People were still robbing banks in the early hundos and stuff. 20s, the 13s. The 13s of the teens.
The teens. So anyhow, day after Christmas, 1933, Wilbur and Hazel Underhill were celebrating their honeymoon with Ralph Rowe and his girlfriend, Eva Mae Nichols, at a rented cottage in Shawnee, Oklahoma.
Okay.
4 days later, a 24-man strike force, including federal agents, state troopers, and local police, surrounded this very house.
See, when you have federal, the FBI, state troopers, and local, we know how that ended up with Babyface Nelson.
Right. Well, this group was led by R.H. Colvin and Frank Smith, the latter a survivor of the Kansas City Massacre. Whoa. So he was like, I was there.
Right.
I want revenge.
Even though this guy had nothing to do with it.
Right. When called on to surrender, Underhill began firing, resulting in the task force returning that fire.
No.
Here we go. We got a shootout now.
Poor old Eva Nichols, who's an innocent woman, was killed in the gunfight, and Underhill, who was barefoot and still in his underwear, ran from the house, attempted to escape.
Oh.
He was hit 5 times before leaving the yard, but ran for another 16 blocks before breaking into a furniture store and collapsing on one of the beds. He's like, I'm not leaving until I can get a bed.
Hey, you ran 16 blocks though.
16 blocks, I know.
Jeez.
Ralph Rowe, also wounded, was taken into custody with Hazel Underhill. Underhill was taken to McAllister, where he remained handcuffed in his bed. What is McAllister? The town or something?
I think so.
Prison? He was handcuffed to his bed at the prison hospital until his death on January 6, 1934.
Wow.
So this firing happened on
December
26th.
So he lasted
4 days later, so December 30th.
Oh.
So he lasted
6 days, 7 days.
With 5 bullet wounds.
Oh.
His last words were, "Tell the boys I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell the boys I'm coming home."
So they got sloppy and got busted.
They got busted. Like they always do.
And ended up taking an innocent wife or girlfriend or whatever.
That guy, and Ralph there, he probably spilled the beans on everything.
Oh.
The dude got his wife killed and...
Yeah.
Oh. Was it his girlfriend or wife?
I don't know if it was girlfriend or wife, was it?
Ralph and his girlfriend, Eva, yeah.
So he probably didn't care for her.
I don't know.
He really liked Hazel.
Maybe that was their plan.
Neither of them got charged, right?
Taken into custody, so I'm sure he got charged with something.
Anyhow, Wilbur Underhill's gang, led by Ford Bradshaw, led a raid into the small town of Vian and shot up the town in revenge for Underhill's capture.
Oh.
This accomplished little, especially with Underhill's death a week later.
Right.
An incident was used by newspapers to turn public opinion against the gang, and within months, Bradshaw and the others have been killed or apprehended by the law.
By the law.
So that put an end to the Underhill Gang and its affiliates.
The Harvey or the Bailey-Underhill Gang is officially gone because by this time Bailey's in prison. He'll die at age 92 though, so he's the only one in this story. Well, we don't know about the others.
Right.
You know, they're all unidentified, several and others.
And few.
So, right. Bailey made it out the good side, huh? Underhill just couldn't stop himself, dude.
No.
It's like all the others. They got guilt or sloppy. Just keep going and going and going. They never have enough. It's
Never.
Just, learn your lesson. Look at history.
Yeah, and then that's when he got with his old lady, and that's when he got sloppy.
Right. Yeah, I told you.
Fucking Hazel.
That would be the downfall. That marriage license. Got to give
Hazel.
somebody's address. Why didn't he just give somebody else's a fake address somewhere?
All right.
Stupid. These guys will never learn, I'm sure. Well, we'll see next week. Oh, Eddie Bentz, see what he learns.
Who's Eddie Bentz?
I have no idea who Eddie Bentz is.
Ooh.
So it's another episode next week of us learning together, and we just learned something together here because I didn't know anything about Underhill before this episode.
No.
So, I said it's a learning experience for all of us. We're not, like we've said countless times before, we're not professionals. We're not. We obviously you've heard the podcast. If you made it this long, you know we're not professionals. So
of anything.
We're just We're just learning with you guys and having some fun in between. So with that being said, that's gonna do it with the Wilbur Underhill Jr. episode. We'll be back next week for Eddie Bentz and his interesting story because he is, as J. Edgar Hoover describes him, the shrewdest, most resourceful, intelligent, and dangerous bank robber in existence. So more banks getting robbed and probably more death in that one. So we'll be back next week for that one. In the meantime, go check us out.
Yeah.
We've been bantering and doing stupid stuff all episodes. So if you like that kind of stuff, go check out The Bang and Dang Show. Wherever you get podcasts, same type of stuff, just with a plethora of other topics, politics, news, music, sports, whatever it is, and anything and everything. And then also, if you're a wrestling fan, the Monday Night Watch Along, we are 110 weeks into the...
We've been doing this for 2 years, guys.
2 years. 110 weeks into the start of the Monday Night Wars, where we watch the main events of each show and give them our own rankings, and we'll decide who won the Monday Night War. So if you like wrestling, you want to watch a couple matches with us each week, go ahead and the Monday Night Watch Along again, wherever you get your podcast. We'll be back next week. Eddie Bentz for the Monster Michigan.
A couple guys.
Unidentified.